Catholic school children were massacred during their morning mass by an insane transsexual leftist, and the Democrat politicians want to yell at you that you don't care about trans kids enough and protecting them and their safety, despite the fact that from a statistic standpoint, when you take into consideration how much of the population they make up, they're actually the most likely to commit mass shootings, right? You've been sold this lie by the media that it's the straight white men who are committing the majority of mass shootings in this country, but that's just simply not the case from a statistical standpoint. That's just the lie that the media wants to feed you in order to demonize white straight men once again. And it's actually insane, right? Because if you look at the statistics right now, we have seen a huge increase in anti-Catholic hate crimes, and under Joe Biden's FBI, this is something that was greatly suppressed. In the last year of Joe Biden's presidency, we saw the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops report 139 hate crimes, yet the FBI only listed 63 of these as a hate crime. If this shooting is not listed as a hate crime, despite the clear evidence of his motives from his manifesto and what was scrawled all over his weapons, then we truly will have no hope. But I really sincerely am praying that Donald Trump's FBI is far, far better than that, because this is an injustice. And don't get me wrong, you should care about trans kids. You should care about the failure of society when it comes to trans kids. And instead of getting them the help that they need, they're shoving this agenda down their throat that their mental illness is perfectly okay and healthy. They know it's not. They know how miserable they are in their bodies, and that's why they develop into these homicidal, suicidal maniacs, right? It's why you see them have such a high rate of things like SI. That's not normal. That comes from severe mental illness that's being left untreated and told that it's a good thing and something to be celebrated, but they know that it's not. And it's absolutely high in time that we call it out for what it is. The amount of discrimination, the amount of injustice against the Christian community right now all over the world, including in America, is absolutely despicable, to where we have insane radical pro-abortion groups like Jane's Revenge, ironically named after a lady who became vehemently pro-life, going around and firebombing churches and vandalizing them with the most heinous slogans. We saw a priest be sexually assaulted by a group like this on live television during a mass for one of our most important holidays, and the world was silent about it because they don't care. There's always a double standard when it comes to the treatment of Christians and the treatment of other religions, and I am sick and tired of seeing it. You stand up for Christian kids, you stand up for Catholic kids, but that's not what the left wants to do. Need I remind you that just 2 years ago, Catholic schools were begging Tim Walz for increased budget because they needed security because of all the threats that they were getting, and he denied it. This shooting could have been prevented had he actually given them the protection that they so desperately needed, but no, he didn't care about that. He will spend taxpayer money on all of this absolute frivolous nonsense. He'll spend it on providing for illegal immigrants. He'll spend it on bringing in more refugees that hate this country, but he won't spend it on protecting children, and this is the horrific outcome of such.